Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and another tutorial. Today we are going to sew together the Lindsling by Lindshandmade. This is a really cute anti-theft sling. Let me show you some of the features of this sling. So anti-theft, meaning the main compartment opens on the back side. So this is the part that would be across your back when you're carrying it, so nobody could pickpocket you or what have you. This is great for travel. It also has two smaller compartments here. And yeah, you can wear it either to the left or to the right. It's completely up to you. It can be made in cottons. It can be made in vinyls like I've done here. Interfacing in this bag is Fusible Fleece. I use Pellon Fusible Fleece. My cotton pieces are backed with Fuse Lite from Emmaline bags. My hardware is from Emmaline bags. My zippers and zipper pulls are from Blue Cala. My vinyl here is the Beaver Variegated by Galaxy Kustoms. And my Super Mario fabric on the inside I got from Dress Sew out of Vancouver. It's a pretty simple bag. It's got a very unique construction, as you will see when we get into making this bag. Anyways, let's get to making it.
You're going to need number 5 zipper tape, some sort of webbing in 1.5 and 1 inch widths, a 1.5 inch slider. You only need one 1.5 inch swivel clasp, 2 1-inch D-rings, 3 number 5 zipper pulls, and some binding. You're also going to need some cam snaps or something similar. If you're doing the cell phone pocket on the front, you will need Giardini edge paint to finish off those edges if you like. I'm using base coat, color, and a protecting gloss. You're going to need your phone pocket piece, and I've already cut my slits in them. You're going to need your side zipper pockets. So my exteriors I have already backed with Fusible Fleece, and you are going to need 6 lining pieces mirrored to one another, so 3 sets. You're going to need your back panel, your front and back. Again, my exteriors are backed with Fusible Fleece. Your main body piece, exterior and lining. Your 2 strap toppers. You're going to need, for your main zipper panel, your 2 exterior and 2 lining zipper tabs. Your front zipper pockets, you need 4 lining and 4 exterior zipper tabs. Now for my phone pocket, I am going to go ahead and I am going to match or mark where I am going to put my cam snaps. So I just punch a hole in the pattern pieces and then use my pen to mark where I will be putting my male and female parts of my snaps. So on the top without the cutout edge, you're going to put your female, and in the other part, you're going to put your male, which is done. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to top stitch along this edge with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Keep in mind, these are all raw edges. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and just on this edge, I'm going to do my edge coat. So I'm going to do 3 layers of my base coat dents, 1 layer of color, and then my protecting gloss with about 20 minutes in between for each layer to dry. So that has all been done. Now we have to mark our folding line. So I'm just going to take my pattern piece and fold it on that folding line and mark with my chalk pencil where my fold line is. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and fold it up like so. Secure with clips. And then we are going to go around the full exterior of this with a 1/8 of an inch seam allowance top stitch. I'm just double checking to make sure my top stitching is good on the bobbin side and on the top side, as they will both show. Now I'm going to go and just kind of even up my edges because some of them went a little wonky. We want a nice even edge for top coating, so I'm not cutting through my stitches, I'm just cutting very close to them. And I'm going to go ahead and edge coat on all the raw edges. Okay, so to prepare our main zipper for the back of the bag, I'm taking my main zipper tabs, I'm putting them right sides together, sandwiching the zipper tape in between. So the zipper tape and the exterior piece are right sides together. And I'm going to go ahead and sew this with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Then you want to pull your zipper tabs wrong sides together like so, and then top stitch through the zipper tab side. Okay, so now we're going to take our main back panels here, and you're going to lay them out like so. And on the exterior piece, you're going to cut it diagonally in this direction, and on the lining piece, diagonally the opposite direction. Make sure that your lining piece, if it is directional, is facing the correct way, like so. Okay, now you want to find the center of all 4 of these pieces along the diagonal side. Okay, so take the 2 center ones and put them aside for now, and we are going to work with these 2 outside ones here. I've marked the center of my zipper tape. And now I'm going to take some double-sided tape and put it along the lining diagonal side. And making sure that my zipper pull is pointing or closing to the top, I'm going to take my lining piece and my zipper piece both right sides up, and I'm going to stick them centered to one another. Okay, then I'm going to take my exterior piece, do the same thing, but I'm going to put this right sides together with my zipper. So once again, we are sandwiching the zipper tape in between the lining and the exterior piece on the diagonal side. And we're going to go ahead and sew this on with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I am using my zipper foot here. It just helps to get nice and close to that zipper. Okay, now we're going to take these 2 pieces. I'm going to use some double-sided tape to press my seam nice and taut. You do not need to do this. I just prefer to do this as my basting method, but do keep in mind I do have an industrial machine that can handle the double-sided tape. So I'm going to press my exterior piece nice and taut away from that zipper. Flip it over and do the same with the lining side, bringing the exterior and the lining pieces wrong sides together. And then we are going to top stitch along the zipper and then baste the other 2 raw edges sides together. And there's Miss Coco looking for attention. Okay, now we're going to do the other side in a similar fashion to attach the other side of the zipper. So once again, 1/4 of an inch down the zipper side here with your zipper sandwiched in between the exterior and the lining pieces. Once again, pulling the lining and the exterior pieces wrong sides together. Top stitch and baste once again. Okay, so now I'm going to prep my D-rings here. I'm just going to take my connectors, fold them in half, and baste the D-ring in. You want to take your external pieces by the zippers and kind of round the edges like so. And then using those round edges as your template to round the other 2 corners by folding it up half lengthwise. Now we're going to take those D-ring connectors that we just prepped, and we're going to measure 2 inches up from each bottom corner, and this is going to be the placement of our D-rings. Again, make sure your zipper pull is closing to the top, so you're installing these on the right side. And you're going to put these just slightly overlapping the edge and baste them on. So now we're going to prep our strap topper. So you want to measure in 1 inch down on one short end of the strap topper, or of the strap, sorry. Mark the centers of your strap toppers using your pattern piece. You're going to take one of those and put it wrong sides together, or right sides together with the strap piece, and same with the other one. So we have our strap centered and sandwiched in between our 2 strap toppers that are right sides together. And we're going to go ahead and sew those 3 sides with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, now you want to trim the seam allowance down to about 1/4 of an inch, but do not cut the strap at all. Kind of just trim around the back and the front, the vinyl away. And then go ahead and turn the strap topper right side out. Pushing out all your corners nice and sharp. And then we're going to top stitch this along those 3 sides with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, and then again with a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, as well as basting the bottom. Please excuse the oil. I had to oil my machine. It wasn't very happy with me, so it's freshly oiled, so it kind of gives this, leaks a little bit of oil for the first little bit after I've done that. So that's 1/8 of an inch top stitch. And now I'm going to go back in with another 1/4 of an inch, and this just helps secure that strap even further into the strap topper. So that is done. You can go ahead and cut away these little wings that are on here. Now we're going to put the handle on, which is our shorter 1-inch strapping we made. I'm going to measure in 1 inch from each of the bottom corners and use that as placement where we are going to put out the handle here. Make sure it's not twisted. And then you can go ahead and baste that on. Okay, so now we're going to work on our other 2 zipper pockets. So just like we did with the main panels, we want to take our zipper tabs, put them right sides together, sandwiching that zipper tape in between. So our right side of our zipper tape and the right side of our exterior zipper tabs are right sides together. And I'm just chain stitching them to save on thread. And then once again, exactly like we did with our main zipper tabs, we're going to pull those tabs wrong sides together and top stitch all 4 tabs. Okay, so now this is a little bit of the trickier part. It's very important to lay out these lining pieces like so it doesn't get confusing. You want to mark the centers of the main lining piece and the centers of 4 of the side pocket pieces. Now, these are mirrored to one another. You're going to have 2 of them facing wrong side up, 2 of them facing right side up, making sure if you're using directional fabric that they are going in the right direction. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start with the right side and put our side panels wrong sides together, match it up with that center mark on the right side of our main lining panel, and secure with clips. So all 3 layers we are securing here. Helps to do the center and then mark the edges like so, and then you can evenly distribute the fabric in between those clips. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and you're going to baste this with a 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Be sure when you're going around that you are very aware of your fabric and you don't have anything underneath there that shouldn't be, and make sure there's no puckers or nips and tucks. Just take it nice and slow. Once this is done, you're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing with the other side. Again, if using directional fabric, make sure you have them pointing the right direction. Okay, so now you're going to take this, make sure it's pointing the right direction. You see how it is? You can put it aside for now. Okay, so now we are going to take the exterior pieces, again laying them out similar to what we did when we were putting it to the main panel, but now we're going to do it with the zippers. So mark your centers, and it is really helpful to use double-sided tape here. Now if you aren't on an industrial and you can find 1/8 of an inch double-sided tape, definitely try to use it if you can. Otherwise, just use a lot of clips to hold this in place. So you're going to take your exterior piece, you're going to make sure your zipper pull is going the right way because you want it to be pointing up. Going to match up your centers of your zipper tape and the exterior piece, and then the corners, and then evenly distribute that zipper tape all the way around that curve. Okay, now you are going to take your lining side piece and match up your ends and match up your center once again. So now we are sandwiching that side of the zipper tape in between the exterior side pocket piece and the lining side pocket piece. You will also prep the other side panel in the exact same manner, again, watching to make sure your direction is going the right way and that your zipper pull is closing towards the top. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sew this with 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. I have put on my right zipper foot here. This is just easier to be able to show you on this side, as I will not be blocking the sewing part with my hand. Make sure your needle is down if you have to move your zipper pull out of the way. This part actually would have been a lot easier also if I had had my zipper all the way open. So that's done, so you can flip this wrong sides together like so. And you are going to finger press the lining and the exterior away from the zipper tape. Then we're going to go ahead and top stitch along there. I found it easier to top stitch kind of if you pushed it up like this and made it kind of a concave look, and top stitch all around there. Now you will complete the other zipper side exactly the same. Just keep in mind which side of the other zipper tape you are using, as it will be opposite from this one. If you had it laid out like your pieces laid out like I did before we attached this, it is very helpful to know which side of the zipper you are putting it on, because you're doing a left and a right side. You can also go ahead and baste along the 2 raw edges here as well. So go ahead and prepare your other side. Okay, so now we have our exterior main piece. I have put my nameplate 4 inches down from the top. I'm going to go ahead and use some double-sided tape. Again, if you're on a domestic and you can find some 1/8 of an inch double-sided tape, it would be really good here, and it would keep it out of your seam allowances. I'm using 1/4 of an inch double-sided tape, but I am on an industrial machine. Okay, so we're going to work with the right side zipper here, and that side of the zipper that isn't attached to anything, we're going to match up the center marks on the long side of our main piece. Similar to what we did before, match the ends and evenly distribute that fabric in between the center marks and the ends. Okay, so now you're going to take that lining piece that we finished, make sure directionally it's going the right way, flip it upside down, and what we want to do is take that curved section where we have that center mark and match it with where we have attached our zipper with the zipper tape along that curved side as well, and secure with clips. Making sure everything is evenly distributed. Okay, like so. And then we're going to go ahead and sew this on with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm kind of feeling from the inside to make sure my exterior is laying nice and flat so I don't have any nips and tucks. Take this part nice and slow. Also ensuring that all the layers are being caught. Okay, so now you're going to turn this right side out and you're just going to give this a really good finger press. We are not going to be top stitching along this stitch line as it is really hard to do that from this angle. I could have attempted it with my cylinder arm, but the pattern doesn't call for the top stitching, so we're not going to. We're just going to finger press it really, really good. Okay, so we are getting to the tricky part, the hardest part of this whole pattern. So on the opposite side, you are going to attach the zipper exactly the same as we did with the other side. But before we do the lining, we are going to go ahead and we are going to baste this in place first with a 1/8 inch seam allowance. This is where I learned it is much easier if you open up that zipper. So this is my first time making this bag, so I'm learning as I go and sharing anything that I learned from my mistakes with you. Okay, so go ahead and baste that. Okay, so this is the tricky part. So you want to go ahead and place it up like this. Now you're going to fold in the left side and the right side because we want to get the curvy part of that lining piece right here over to where we just basted the zipper on. So we are creating this cocoon type shape. Now, it's going to look like a hot mess, but trust me, trust the process of how Lindsay wrote the pattern because it works. So now it's very similar to how we did the other side. It just looks a little bit more awkward, but you're matching up the curvy center with the zipper center that we had just sewn to create this cocoon shape. So the opposite side that we had sewn prior to this is all tucked into the middle. We just squished it all in. Okay, so this is what you need it to be looking like. If it doesn't look like this, you've done it wrong. This is how it looks. We're going to go ahead and stitch along here with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, making sure you are not getting anything that's on the inside stuck in that seam that you don't want in that seam. Take it slow. I used a ton of clips. That is the hardest part done. So go ahead and flip the cocoon or the tube right side out. It's a little tough at first, but as soon as you get about a third of it through, it comes through really easy. Go ahead and press out all those seams. Nice finger press along that seam that we had just sewn. And this is what we have so far. Make sure your zippers are going the same direction. And then we're going to go ahead and just clip together all of the edges, all of the layers, and we are going to baste these all together. Okay, so I have that basted all the way around. Now we want to attach our topper. So at the center top of our exterior pieces, we are going to center our topper on, right sides together, matching up that raw edge, and baste that on. Okay, that's all done. So now let's kind of put this inside out like so. Put the strap into the middle. Press everything out nice and smooth. Now we want to find our centers because I did not find my centers to begin with. So I'm just matching up my seams and snipping my centers along the long sides here. And I'm going to take my main back piece here. I'm going to find my centers on the short and the long sides. Okay, open up the zipper. Make sure you have it going the right direction so the bottom is attaching to the bottom. Match up the centers and clip all the way around. I am then going to take this to my cylinder arm and sew all the way around here with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm taking it to my cylinder arm so you can better see what I'm doing, whereas if I was on my flatbed, the bag would be hiding the view. Go ahead and double check that all the stitching was caught just by kind of peeking on the inside, and then you can go ahead and trim up your seam allowance to approximately 3/8 of an inch. And then all that's left to do is to bind with your preferred binding method. So this is it, all bound. Go ahead and turn it right side out. Press out all of your seams. Then you just have to install your slider and your swivel clasp. The pattern has great instructions on how to do that. And then we're done.
There you go. That's it. That's all. See, the hardest part of this bag was that burrito construction, but it really wasn't too bad. You just had to take it nice and slow. This is a great gift. It is a fast sew. I said cut to finish and filming the video. I did it within 7 hours. Yeah. Anyways, I will catch you guys on the next one. Oh, first, if you haven't already, please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. And if you would like to support my channel further, you can buy me a coffee. That is down in the link below. Anyways, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.